What if the greatest secret to finding love is to stop seeking it entirely? True connection is not a prize to be won through pleading, but a natural consequence of becoming a man who needs nothing. This is how you become that man. Be the man who never begs for love. Stoicism, compiled and published by Stoic Dominion. Lesson 1. Know your true worth. Imagine a man crawling through a vast desert, his throat parched, dying of thirst. With his last bit of energy, he begs for a single drop of water from every traveler he sees. He is a picture of desperation. What he doesn't realize is that strapped to his own back is a full, heavy canteen of pure, cool water. He has everything he needs, but because he is ignorant of his own supply, he has reduced himself to a beggar. This is the inner conflict that lies at the heart of neediness in relationships. So many men wander through the world believing they are emotionally destitute. They believe their worth, their happiness, their very sense of being whole, is a scarce resource that only another person, particularly a woman, can give them. The problem is that this belief forces you into the posture of a beggar. Every interaction becomes a desperate plea for a drop of validation, a sip of approval. This creates an obsessive mental state where your mind is colonized by the other person. You reread texts, you craft perfect replies, you replay conversations on a loop, all in a desperate attempt to secure your water source. This energy of lack is profoundly unattractive. It makes you anxious, it makes you weak, and it communicates to the other person that you see them not as a partner, but as a utility, a walking canteen whose job it is to quench your own inner thirst. This is a burden no healthy person is willing to carry. The transformative solution is the first and most fundamental step on the path to becoming a king. You must know your true worth. This is the practice of realizing with absolute certainty that you are already carrying your own canteen. The core Stoic principle here is that your value as a man is not external, it is entirely internal. The Stoics taught that the only true good is virtue, your own character, your integrity, your courage, your discipline. These are things that no one can give you, and more importantly, no one can ever take away from you. Love, approval, and validation from others are preferred indifference. They are pleasant, they can add joy to life, but they are fundamentally unnecessary for your wholeness and your happiness. A man who understands this stops being a beggar instantly. He knows that he possesses his own source of life-sustaining water. This doesn't mean he doesn't enjoy drinking from a shared spring with another person, but it means he will never die of thirst if that spring runs dry. He can now interact with others not from a place of desperate thirst, but from a place of abundance, ready to share his water with a fellow traveler who also has their own. To begin this profound journey of self-recognition, you must conduct an audit of your own inner wealth. The first actionable step is to take out a journal and create a portfolio of worth. In this portfolio, you will list evidence of your own inherent value. Start by listing 3 character traits you are proud of. Are you resilient? Honest? Disciplined? Don't just list them. Write a brief example of when you demonstrated each trait. The second step is to list 3 accomplishments, big or small, that you achieved through your own effort and determination. This could be graduating, completing a difficult project, or learning a new skill. The third step is to list 3 things you know how to do, a skill you have cultivated that brings value to yourself or the world. Read this list every morning for a week. This is not about arrogance, it is about grounding yourself in the factual evidence of your own competence and character. It is about recognizing the weight of the canteen on your own back and learning to drink from your own supply first. The benefits of knowing your own worth are the benefits of a total paradigm shift. The desperate, anxious energy of the beggar is replaced by the calm, confident energy of the self-sufficient traveler. You will stop seeing other people as a solution to your inner emptiness and start seeing them as sovereign individuals you might want to share your journey with. This shift is not just felt by you, it is palpable to everyone you meet. You begin to radiate a quiet confidence that is the foundation of all genuine attraction. You become a man who walks through the desert not looking for water, but looking for an oasis he can contribute to. A man whose cup is so full, it naturally overflows to others. Your practice is to identify one character trait you are proud of. For the next 24 hours, your mission is to find one opportunity to actively demonstrate that trait. Provide your own proof of your own worth to yourself. Knowing your worth is the foundation. But to maintain that self-sufficient mindset, you must learn to sever the emotional cords that tie your peace to the reactions of others. This is the skill of detachment. Next, we will learn how to master emotional detachment. To continue this journey, please subscribe to Stoic Dominion. Lesson 2. Master emotional detachment skills. Imagine you are the captain of a magnificent ship, and your emotional state is the rudder that steers it. An undisciplined captain allows his rudder to be controlled by every external phenomenon. If a beautiful bird flies by, he steers toward it. If a dark cloud appears on the horizon, he veers away in fear. If another ship fails to wave back, he becomes angry and gives chase. His ship is in a constant state of chaotic, reactive motion, its course dictated by 1,000 things outside his control. He is not a captain. He is a slave to his environment. This is the inner conflict of a man who lacks emotional detachment. His inner state, his rudder, is completely at the mercy of the woman he desires. If she texts back quickly, he feels elated. If she is distant, he feels anxious and dejected. If she seems happy, he is happy. If she seems upset, he immediately assumes it is his fault and scrambles to fix it. The problem is that this makes him an incredibly unstable and exhausting person to be around. He is a ship with no steady course. No one, especially a high-value woman, wants to be a passenger on a ship whose captain has handed control of the rudder to the unpredictable weather of her own moods. She feels she has to manage not only her own emotions, but his reactions to her emotions, which is an immense burden. The transformative solution is to seize control of your own rudder, to master emotional detachment skills. This is the second unbreakable habit of a man who never begs. Detachment, in the Stoic sense, is not about being cold, aloof, or uncaring. It is the wisdom to understand that your emotional state is your responsibility and yours alone. The core principle, taught relentlessly by Epictetus, is the dichotomy of control. The feelings, moods, and actions of another person are external to you. They are not within your control. Therefore, to attach your own inner peace to them is a form of madness. It is to guarantee a life of emotional turmoil. Emotional detachment is the practice of creating a sacred, unbreachable space between her emotional state and your own. It is the discipline to keep your hand firmly on your own rudder, no matter what the weather is doing. You can observe her storm with compassion, but you do not let it steer your ship. This emotional stability is profoundly attractive because it creates a sense of safety and freedom for the other person. To master this essential skill, you must practice a form of emotional weight training. The first actionable step is to practice recognizing external emotions as data, not as directives. When you notice a shift in her mood, instead of immediately reacting, simply label it in your mind with neutral curiosity. I observe that she seems to be in a low energy state. This transforms you from a participant in her emotion into an observer of it. The second step is to have a non-reaction protocol. When she says or does something that would normally trigger an immediate emotional reaction from you, your drilled response is to do nothing but take one deep, slow breath. In that breath, you remind yourself, that is external to me. My inner state is my choice. It is crucial that this pause is one of calm self-regulation, not a punitive, passive-aggressive silent treatment. The energy is one of stability, not of punishment. The third step is to stop asking, "Is she okay?" with an anxious energy, and start asking, "Am I okay?" Your first responsibility is to maintain your own calm and centeredness. From that stable place, you can then choose to offer support if it is needed, but you are no longer reacting to her state. You are acting from your own. The benefits of mastering detachment are a profound sense of inner peace and freedom. You will be liberated from the exhausting emotional roller coaster of being tied to someone else's moods. You will become a source of stability and strength in your relationships, not a source of more chaos. Paradoxically, this detachment is incredibly attractive. A woman feels safe and free with a man who is not emotionally dependent on her. She can have her own feelings without feeling responsible for his. You become the calm, steady captain whose ship is such a reliable and peaceful place to be that she is eager to come aboard for the journey. Your practice for this week is to notice when you start to feel your mood being affected by someone else's. In that moment, your only job is to bring your focus back to your own breath and your own body and to find your own center, independent of them. Detachment keeps your inner world calm, but that inner kingdom must be protected by strong borders to prevent the chaos of the world from invading. This is the role of dignity. Next, we will explore how to strengthen your boundaries with unshakable dignity. Your support helps us spread this message, so please like this video. Lesson 3. Strengthen boundaries with dignity. Imagine a king who sits on a magnificent throne in a great hall. His throne represents his self-respect and his dignity. Now, this king is kind, but he is also weak. He allows anyone to approach his throne, to lean on it, to put their feet up on it, and even to mock it. He never tells them to stop for fear of offending them. Soon, the throne is scuffed and damaged, and the king himself is seen as a joke, a ruler with no respect for his own position. He has allowed his kindness to be mistaken for weakness, and his throne room has become a place of disrespect. The inner conflict we face is between our desire to be agreeable and accommodating, and the absolute necessity of protecting our own dignity. We are the king, and our boundaries are the invisible space around our throne. The problem is that when we fail to set and enforce these boundaries, we are teaching people that our throne, our self-respect, is not worthy of reverence. A man who lets his time be wasted, who tolerates disrespect, and who changes his plans to accommodate every whim of another person is a man without boundaries. This lack of boundaries is a form of dishonesty. You present a false version of yourself that is endlessly accommodating, which inevitably breeds a toxic, unspoken resentment within you. He is a king who lets anyone put their feet on his throne, and a king who does not respect his own throne will never be respected by his court. The transformative solution is to learn to strengthen your boundaries with dignity. This is the third unbreakable habit. It is the understanding that your boundaries are the sacred perimeter around your self-respect. They are not aggressive walls, but clear, calm lines that communicate your value. The core Stoic principle at play here is that of justice, which begins with justice to oneself. You have a just and right claim to your own time, your own energy, and your own peace of mind. A boundary is simply a rational and dignified expression of this right. When you set a boundary, you are not being unkind. You are being just to yourself and honest with the other person. A man who never begs for love is a man whose throne room is a place of order and respect. He is welcoming, but he does not tolerate disrespect to the throne. His dignity is non-negotiable, and it is this very quality that makes his presence so powerful and his company so valuable. He understands that clear boundaries prevent the resentments that destroy relationships from the inside out. To strengthen your boundaries with dignity, you must practice being a calm and benevolent king of your own space. The first actionable step is to define the rules of your court. What are the non-negotiable standards of behavior for those who wish to be close to you? For example, my time will be respected. Last-minute cancellations or chronic lateness are not acceptable. Or my values will be respected. Disrespectful jokes about things I hold important will not be tolerated. These are not demands you make of others. They are standards you hold for yourself and for the company you keep. The second step is to communicate a boundary violation with calm, simple language, free from anger or apology. When you cancel at the last minute, it disrupts my plans. I can't operate like that. Or that comment was disrespectful and I don't appreciate it. Your calm tone is the signal of your dignity and that this is a rational, not emotional issue. The third step is to have a clear, silent consequence. The consequence might be creating distance, reducing your investment of time and energy, or, if the violation is serious enough, ending the relationship. A boundary without a consequence is merely a suggestion. The benefits of this practice are that you will command a new and profound level of respect. People will learn very quickly that you are a man who respects himself, and they will adjust their behavior accordingly. Those who are unwilling to meet your standards will filter themselves out of your life, which is a gift. You will find that you are no longer filled with the resentment that comes from being a people pleaser. You will inhabit your life with a sense of kingly dignity and peace. You become the king whose throne is respected by all, not because he is a tyrant, but because his quiet, dignified strength makes the rules of his court perfectly clear. Your practice is to identify one boundary you have been letting slide. Prepare a single, calm, dignified sentence you will use the next time it is crossed. A king who respects his own throne does not need the applause of his courtiers to know his own worth. This leads us to our next lesson. Next, we will explore the art of freeing yourself from the prison of seeking validation. Please subscribe to Stoic Dominion to continue building your inner kingdom. Lesson 4. Stop seeking validation and approval. Imagine a magnificent lion, the king of the savannah. He moves with a powerful grace, secure in his own strength. Now, imagine if this lion, after every roar, anxiously looked around at the hyenas, the zebras, and the monkeys, desperately seeking their approval. Was that a good roar? Did you all like it? Please tell me I'm a good lion. The very idea is absurd. The lion's power, its very lionness, is completely independent of the opinions of the other animals. It does not need their validation to be what it is. This is the inner conflict that turns kings into beggars. We have been conditioned to believe that our worth is a reflection of what others think of us. We are the lion, but we are constantly checking our reflection in the eyes of the hyenas. We post a photo online and anxiously check for likes. We tell a joke and scan the room for laughter. We make a decision and then immediately seek reassurance that it was the right one. The problem is that this constant seeking of validation and approval is a form of begging. It is a silent plea. Please tell me that I am worthy. Please tell me that I am good enough. This behavior broadcasts insecurity and neediness. It is also exhausting. You are forced to constantly perform, to be on, to manage other people's perceptions of you. This performance is inherently inauthentic and prevents any real connection from forming. It makes you a slave to the opinions of others, and it is the absolute opposite of the powerful, self-contained energy of a true king. The transformative solution is to follow the way of the lion and stop seeking validation and approval. This is the fourth unbreakable habit of a man who never begs. It is the radical commitment to becoming the sole source of your own validation. The core Stoic principle here is the clear understanding that the opinions of others are external indifference. They are things entirely outside of your control and have zero bearing on your actual character or worth. The only judgment that matters is your own, measured against your own internal values. A man who begs for love is always asking, "Do they like me?" A king asks a different question. "Do I respect myself? Did I act with integrity and courage today?" When you make this internal assessment your only source of validation, you become truly free. The opinions of others, whether positive or negative, become mere data, like the weather. Interesting to observe, perhaps, but powerless to shake the foundation of your inner kingdom. You can still listen to feedback, but you become the final judge and jury of your own worth. To break this addiction to external approval, you must deliberately cultivate your internal source of validation. The first actionable step is to go on an approval fast. For one full day, make a conscious effort not to ask for anyone's opinion or reassurance about any choice you make, from what you wear to a decision at work. Trust your own judgment and be willing to live with the consequences of your own choices. The second step is to practice self-validation. At the end of the day, instead of thinking about who complimented you, take a moment to compliment yourself on one thing you did that aligned with your values. Say to yourself, "I handled that difficult conversation with composure. I respect myself for that." Become your own most ardent supporter. The third step is to reframe criticism. When someone criticizes you, instead of feeling the sting of disapproval, view it as an opportunity to test your Stoic principles. Can you listen without becoming defensive? Can you extract any useful information? Can you remain calm? Their criticism becomes your training ground, a chance to strengthen your inner fortress. The benefits of this practice are a profound and unshakable form of confidence. You will develop a powerful sense of self-reliance and inner authority. The anxious need for likes, compliments, and reassurance will fade away, replaced by a quiet, solid sense of your own worth. You will be able to make bold decisions and walk your own path without the paralyzing fear of what others will think. You become the lion whose power is so self-evident that it needs no external applause. It simply is. Your practice is to notice every time you have the urge to ask for someone's approval today. Each time you notice it, simply pause, take a breath, and make the decision for yourself. A man who does not need the validation of others is a man who is not afraid of being alone. In fact, he understands that solitude is a source of immense power. Next, we will learn how to embrace solitude over the act of begging. If you are finding value here, please like this video. Lesson 5. Embrace solitude over begging. Imagine a great, deep well carved into the solid rock of the earth. This well is a source of pure, life-sustaining water. It does not need the rain to be full. It does not need the river to flow into it. Its water comes from its own deep, hidden spring. Because it is self-sustaining, the well is never thirsty. It is never desperate. It simply exists, full and abundant. Travelers may come to drink from it, and it gives freely, but its own level remains unchanged. This is the inner state of a man who has learned to embrace solitude. The inner conflict for many is that they view solitude as a synonym for loneliness. They see it as a state of lack, a punishment, a sign that they are unwanted. This fear of being alone is the primary driver of begging behavior. It is what causes a man to text one more time when he is being ignored, to stay in a bad relationship, or to lower his standards just to have anyone by his side. The problem is that this fear of solitude makes you a thirsty man, desperately seeking a well outside of yourself. This desperation is palpable, and it pushes away the very connection you crave. It makes you a poor negotiator in the landscape of relationships, because you are always negotiating from a place of fear, the fear of being left with what you perceive to be an empty, desolate self. The transformative solution is to become the deep well, to learn to embrace solitude over begging. This is the fifth unbreakable habit. It is the conscious reframing of solitude from a negative state of loneliness into a positive, chosen state of productive self-reliance. The core Stoic idea is that the wise man is entirely self-sufficient for his own happiness. The Stoics were not antisocial. They valued friendship and community, but they knew that a man must first be good company for himself before he can be good company for anyone else. Solitude for a Stoic is not a punishment. It is a training ground. It is the sacred time when you can study, reflect, strengthen your mind, and connect with your own inner source of peace and purpose. It is how you dig your well deeper. A man who is not afraid of solitude is a man who can never be controlled by the threat of its return. He is free. He enters relationships not to escape his own company, but because he has company worth sharing. To learn to embrace and even enjoy your solitude, you must be intentional about how you use it. The first actionable step is to schedule productive solitude into your week. This is not just empty time, it is time dedicated to a specific, enriching activity that you do alone. This could be reading a challenging book, learning a new skill online, working on a personal project, or going for a long hike. This reframes alone time as growth time. The second step is to practice the art of dining alone. Once a month, take yourself out to a nice restaurant. Leave your phone in your pocket. Simply be present with your own thoughts and the experience of the meal. This is a powerful act of self-reliance and proves that you can be your own best company. The third step is to use solitude for deep reflection. Use your alone time to journal, to review your goals, and to practice the Stoic exercises we have discussed. Turn your solitude into your personal philosophical sanctuary, the place where you go to fill your own well. The benefits of embracing solitude are the complete annihilation of needy and begging behaviors. When you genuinely enjoy and value your own company, The desperation to secure someone else's vanishes. You will enter social situations from a place of want, not need, which is an infinitely more attractive position. Your relationships will improve because you will be bringing a full, interesting self to the table, not an empty cup waiting to be filled. You become a better partner because you do not bring the fear of abandonment into the relationship. You know you will be perfectly fine on your own. You become the deep well. Because you are never thirsty, you have an abundance of cool, clear water to offer. People become naturally drawn to your self-sufficiency and your quiet, abundant energy. Your practice is to schedule 1 hour of productive solitude this week. Decide now what you will do in that hour to enrich your own mind and spirit. A man who is comfortable in his solitude radiates a unique and powerful energy. His very presence begins to command respect without him saying a word. This leads to our next lesson. Next, we will explore how to command respect through your presence alone. Please subscribe to Stoic Dominion to continue this journey. Lesson 6. Command respect through presence. Imagine a wise king entering his court. He does not need to shout, to boast, or to remind everyone of his title. He simply enters the room, takes his seat on the throne, and a hush falls over the court. His presence alone is enough to command attention and respect. His stillness is more powerful than any speech. His calm composure is more authoritative than any command. His authority is not something he does. It is a natural radiation of who he is. This is the inner conflict we face in our desire for respect. We often believe that respect is something we have to actively demand or earn through our performance. We try to be witty, we try to be impressive, we try to dominate the conversation, all in an attempt to force others to respect us. The problem is that true respect can never be demanded. It can only be commanded. The man who is constantly trying to prove his worth is by that very act signaling that he is unsure of it himself. His frantic efforts to gain respect often have the opposite effect, revealing an inner lack of the very quality he is trying to project. He is like a man shouting, "I am powerful." The very act of shouting proves he feels he is not. The transformative solution is to stop trying to get respect and to focus entirely on being respectable. It is to learn how to command respect through your presence alone. This is the 6th unbreakable habit. It is the culmination of the inner work we have discussed: the self-worth, the detachment, the boundaries, the solitude. The core Stoic idea is that your character speaks for itself. As Epictetus might say, you shouldn't worry about how you appear to others. You should worry about the state of your own soul. When you have cultivated a mind that is calm, a character that is virtuous, and a spirit that is self-sufficient, you will radiate an energy of quiet strength and integrity. This presence is what people feel and respond to on a deep, intuitive level. It is the unspoken communication of your value. In a world of distraction, the person who can offer their full, undivided attention possesses a rare and powerful gift. This focused presence communicates deep respect for the other person, which in turn commands deep respect for you. It's a virtuous cycle. You don't need to tell people you are a king. They will know it the moment you walk into the room. To cultivate this powerful presence, you must focus on the subtle, non-verbal aspects of your being. The first actionable step is to master your body language. A man who commands respect stands tall, his shoulders back, his movements deliberate and unhurried. He doesn't fidget. He occupies his space with a calm confidence. Practice walking, sitting, and standing with this sense of quiet dignity, as if you are already the king. The second step is to master your eye contact. When you speak to someone, hold their gaze in a calm, steady, and respectful manner, not an intimidating one. Do not dart your eyes around nervously. This communicates presence and sincerity. When you are listening, you give them your full, focused attention. This makes them feel seen and respected, which in turn makes them respect you. The third step is to master the pace of your speech. A man who is sure of himself does not need to rush his words. Speak slowly, clearly, and deliberately. Let your words have weight. Use pauses to your advantage. A calm, measured cadence is far more authoritative than rapid, anxious chatter. The benefits of mastering your presence are that you will begin to receive the respect you desire without ever having to ask for it. The dynamic of your interactions will shift dramatically. You will find that people listen more closely when you speak, and that they treat your time and opinions with more reverence. You will move through the world with a new sense of ease and authority. You become the king in his court, whose silent presence is enough to establish order, command attention, and earn the deep, authentic respect of all who are in his presence. Your practice for this week is to choose one of these elements: your posture, your eye contact, or your pace of speech, and to bring a conscious, deliberate sense of calm and authority to it in all your interactions. Commanding respect through presence is the sign of a man who has built a powerful inner world. The final habit is to make that inner world an impenetrable fortress, the ultimate source of your strength. Next, we will explore how to build your unshakable inner fortress. If you're ready to command respect, please like and share this video. Lesson 7. Build unshakable inner fortress. Imagine a great and wealthy king whose entire kingdom is external. His riches are stored in vaults, his power lies in his armies, and his happiness depends on his popularity with his people. Now imagine a rival king invades. He seizes the gold, defeats the armies, and turns the people against him. In an instant, the king has lost everything. He is left a broken, powerless beggar because his entire kingdom was outside of himself. Now imagine a Stoic king. His primary kingdom is not external. It is the inner citadel, the unshakable fortress of his own mind. Its walls are built of his virtues, its treasury is filled with his wisdom, and its throne is his own unconquerable reason. An enemy can take his land, his wealth, and even his life, but they can never, ever touch this inner fortress. This is the ultimate inner conflict. Where do we build our kingdom? We spend our entire lives trying to build a kingdom of external things: wealth, status, relationships, approval. The problem is that anything external can be, and often will be, taken from us. By building our happiness on such unstable ground, we condemn ourselves to a life of perpetual anxiety, forever guarding a kingdom that can be lost at any moment. When our happiness depends on having a particular person's love, we have built our castle on their territory, and they can evict us at any time. The final and most important unbreakable habit is to build an unshakable inner fortress. This is the ultimate goal of all Stoic practice. It is the commitment to making your inner world your primary source of peace, strength, and happiness. The core idea, which comes from Epictetus and Marcus Aurelius, is that a wise man makes himself invulnerable, not by controlling the world, but by realizing that the only part of him that truly matters, his character, his reasoned choice, is already by its very nature completely safe from external harm. The man who never begs for love is the man who lives inside this fortress. He does not need anything from the outside world to be whole, because his kingdom is within. He can enjoy external things like love and friendship, but he does not need them for his security. They are welcome visitors to his citadel, but the citadel itself is his home, a home no one can ever take from him. It is the sanctuary you can retreat to at any moment, as Marcus Aurelius said, to find perfect peace. The construction of this fortress is the great work of your life. The first actionable step is the daily practice of philosophical reflection. Every day, you must spend time contemplating these great truths. Read the Stoics. Write in a journal about your progress. Remind yourself constantly of what is truly yours and what is not. This reinforces the walls. The second step is the practice of voluntary hardship. By regularly and deliberately exposing yourself to discomfort, you prove to yourself that you can withstand the loss of external comforts. You practice sleeping on the floor so you don't fear losing your bed. You practice fasting so you don't fear hunger. This builds your confidence in the strength of your inner resources. The third step is to find your purpose within the fortress. Your ultimate mission in life should not be the attainment of an external goal, but the perfection of your own character. Your purpose becomes the act of being a good, wise, and virtuous king of your own mind. The benefit of building this inner fortress is the achievement of true freedom and unshakable peace. or eudaimonia. You will be liberated from the fear of loss that haunts so many people. You will be able to engage with the world with a courageous and open heart, because you will know that nothing the world can do can ever touch your true self. You will be able to love more deeply and freely, because your love will come from a place of abundance, not of need. You will become a source of immense strength and stability for yourself and for all who know you. You become the Stoic king, secure on his inner throne, ruling a kingdom that can never be conquered. Your final practice is a lifelong commitment. It is to see every challenge, every hardship, and every moment of your day as an opportunity to add another stone to the wall of your inner fortress. Make this your life's great work. A man who never begs for love is not arrogant or aloof. He is a king who has built such a rich and powerful inner kingdom that he seeks a queen to share in its greatness, not a savior to rescue him from his own emptiness. His love is a gift, not a plea. Thank you for your dedication to this journey of self-mastery. The work of building your inner fortress is the noblest pursuit there is, and it is the only path to true and lasting freedom. If this guide has provided you with value, please like the video, comment with the lesson that was most impactful for you, and subscribe to Stoic Dominion for more wisdom on the path to an unshakable life.